What is Princess Toadstool's favorite dance? The Mushrumba. Welcome to the stream. Happy Thursday, my friends. I forgot what day of the week it is. Happy Groundhog's Day. I don't know if we're gonna have 6 more weeks of winter, but I sure hope we do. Cold weather is all I want all the time. Welcome in Sparrow the Dragoon. Sparrow is first in chat tonight. Pleasure to have you here, my friend. Thank you for your fine company. And we see Manu Alejo is here again. Good to have you back, Manu. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're having a fine evening. Nice animation. Thank you. That's Jelly's work. She made that snowman animation for me. I think she actually made that in December before last. And I'm finally getting around to using it again this year because it's just so good. And there's Jelly in the chat as well. Always happy to have you here. Jelly, thank you for the paper towels. I didn't spill anything, Sparrow. I actually didn't spill anything, but I used up my roll of paper towels. Well, there's just no way to say it. This might be a little gross. Just when I blow my nose, I do so rather aggressively, and so I like to have a tissue that can withstand the force of my mighty lungs. So I keep paper towels on hand. Also, I do tend to spill my coffee from time to time. My coffee cup rests atop a paper towel just in case there's some sort of accident. Trombone player lungs. You know, I have very, very minimal experience playing wind instruments. I studied the tuba very briefly in high school. Playing the recorder was mandatory in elementary school. That's about it. I knew it was coming, and it still made me smile. I'm still processing it, Sparrow says in regard to the joke. Anybody else feel a sense of deja vu? Manu did draw some Frownie art. Some very fine Frownie art. I've got it right here. This is from our good friend Manu. We'll just keep that up on the screen for a while. How about? I like it quite a bit. It looks to me, the style of it, it reminds me of it looks like it's something like an Iron and Wine cover. And I'm a fan of Iron and Wine, so. So I really appreciate it for that. The good old recorder. What? Oh. LMNOP school. Look how happy that Frownie is. Uh, all right, my friends. 2 games tonight. Battletoads is first. We're gonna make 1, maybe 2 runs through Battletoads. Then we're gonna switch over to Dark Souls. I want to try to make sure I give a generous amount of time to each game, but Dark Souls we really owe it to. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit more swift with my Battletoads attempts tonight. I would like to make 2 attempts. This is a first playthrough, a never-ending first playthrough of Battletoads. I'm going through it blind, so I don't know much about it. Don't want to know much about it. Come along for the journey, witness the struggle and the confusion, but please, as tempted as you are to throw me a life preserver, please don't offer me any help or any insight into the game. Let me work through it under my own steam, as ugly as the process may be, and we'll have a glorious victory to share together at the end. But I've been working on it for about 2 weeks. We've been playing it almost every night. Stage 9 is my PB. I get a little further in Stage 9 almost every time I make it there, but I haven't been able to clear Stage 9. I don't know how much is left. I don't know how much is left ahead of me, but I'm confident that I will eventually beat this game. Yeah, different glasses back then too. Yeah, I had much thinner frames back then. They're much thinner all around. The lenses were about 50%, or they were like 30% smaller than these, and the frames were real thin. I like these glasses. I think that they're an improvement personally. Don't save us from the flames. Exactly. I know it's kind of weird. In that it can be off-putting to some people the way I like to do things, but I'm just kind of a monster. We made some additions to the Discord. I don't know if we have any Discord members here that haven't had a chance to check it out yet. They should be functional. Well, kind of functional. We've got 2 new channels in the Discord. I finally made a channel. Remember Sparrow, like 100 years ago, when you suggested a channel for sharing retro ads? Well, that channel now exists. I inaugurated it with one of my favorites, the commercial for the hypnosis themed commercial for Wario Land. Naturally, I was tempted to start it off with the commercial for Super Ghouls and Ghosts, given my love of the game, but the ad for Super Ghouls and Ghosts just isn't really that great. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to hit reset already. Is this game from the NES or SNES? This is the NES, Manu. It looks really good for an NES game, and it's got an effect coming up right away at this boss. This boss fight looks almost just like Turtles in Time on the Super NES. You know, of course, it's a little bit more stripped down than that, but it looks real close. Also kind of looks like the Virtual Boy, with it all being in shades of red. Does it have to be video game related? No. So I said in the description, vintage. I think I said vintage games and products of yesteryear. I would encourage people to post things they remember fondly. Hey, la la loo la la, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday evening. I'm so bad at the juggling. And it's so important to do it well. No, I just had to hit the bird one more time for the 1-up. I really could have used that, especially since I lost a life on stage 1. Normally that would be like a cause for a reset, but I don't know. I don't want to lean on the reset button too heavily. Losing a life early, you know, it could be a good thing. Maybe put some pressure on me, keep me focused. Ooh. That's how I'm gonna spin it. I also started the channel for the meat project. I have begun to catalog video game meats. That is closed. That's a Frownie exclusive channel currently. It's viewable, but currently I'm the only one that can post in it. Until I'm sure about like the format of how I want people to help with that. And how to sort of word the directions. That's gonna stay closed for a while. But I'll eventually open it up so if other people want to share some of their favorite video game meats. They'll be able to do so. What I'm thinking we need at a minimum is, you know, a fairly high quality screenshot of the meat, which I've just been isolating them out of high quality YouTube videos. Hey, Buffalo Hopscotch. The game name and platform, and a summary of what the meat actually does. Whether it be you know, how much health it restores, if it restores health, if it's whether or not it's a puzzle item or a background detail, or I've got a lot of them in there already. This may be something that appeals to very, very niche interests. Hey, Buffalo Hopscotch. Welcome in, Buffalo. Happy Groundhog Day. I hope you're doing well this evening. I'll begin with my favorite British kid saying, "I'll use my broadsword" in the Hero Quest board game. It's Groundhog Day. Where I'm at, it's Groundhog Day for about another half an hour. It's not exactly holiday that I pay a great deal of attention to myself. But, you know, I thought I'd point it out. Might as well mention it. Isolate the where this VOD happened in time. For all those future Agent Frownie historians out there. I saw my shadow today. Does that mean 6 more weeks of winter? I hope so. Turbo Tunnel. The cause of me being sent to my room so many times as a kid. I don't want to say something that gives me bad luck, but I have to say, when it comes to the Turbo Tunnel, this part of the game is like... It's the one part that I'm, like, proud of myself a little bit. I'll probably mess it up terribly, but I've had a lot of deathless runs through this. I feel this is, like, the one part of the game that I picked up kind of quickly. So much of the rest has been a nightmare. I know that this is like the major struggle point, it seems, for a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. I didn't do it perfectly on my first try or anything, but I do feel like I picked this part up pretty quickly compared to how slowly I pick up so much of the rest of the game. It's my one little point of pride. I'm actually doing, I think, stunningly bad at some other areas that I'm pretty sure come easily to other people. The hardest areas of the game for me so far are the descent, stage 2, right before this, where you're going down the tunnel. And stage 5. Particularly the second surfboard part of stage 5 is just impossibly difficult. It's just a roll of the dice that determines whether or not I'm going to make it through there. It feels like it's 100% luck. Oh, that fast part there goes on forever. Victory! No lives lost. I either go flawlessly or have an absolute brutal time on stage 2. I don't know that I go flawlessly, but I do pass through it pretty cleanly sometimes. Like I can pass through it on rare occasion without losing a life, and it feels so good. But those are pretty rare. I make it through the tunnel. I make it through the turbo tunnel way more frequently than I make it through stage 2. Without a disaster. Whoa! I didn't know that thing was coming back. If it weren't for the spikes, I think I would actually really like this stage. What happened there? He's supposed to... It heard me say I like this stage. He's supposed to throw one up here when he gets back up, but for whatever reason he didn't. so that's odd. I mean, I jumped at the wrong time anyway, so even if he'd done what he was supposed to do, I still would have messed it up, but I was surprised to see him do the wrong thing. The spikes on this stage tend to consistently ruin me, unfortunately. As I was saying. Oh, I got lucky there. I messed that up. Oh, I messed that up too. Obviously. This level is no joke. No joke. I've had a hard road. I've had a hard road getting, well, pretty much any part of this down. Like I said, the turbo tunnel is like the one thing that I picked up pretty quickly. Every other level, it's like it's been quite the slog to start to get decent at it. I haven't been keeping a run counter or anything, but like this is probably like my 40th run. Figure two or three attempts a night for 2 weeks. More at the start when I was, you know, game overing consistently within the first couple levels. Exact same problem on your end. No, it's good to know I'm in good company. Whoa, I didn't think I was going to make that. Now this stage 5 is like what you said about the turbo tunnel. Like you either do it flawlessly or not at all. First part here, typically not so bad. I can die here if I'm really unlucky, but no one up for me. It's really the second one of these surfboard sections, though, that's just kind of the worst thing that's ever happened to me. No! No. Robbed. So many times. Robbed. Get that guy out of here. I don't even think that hurt him. It's really difficult. It's really difficult being a two-dimensional object in a three-dimensional space, right? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when my stick goes through him. It's not my fault I'm paper thin in one direction. I picked a bad time to look away from the screen. I love when he does that really high jump. Like that's supposed to be intimidating, right? Like that's the big jump where he's coming to destroy you. That's the thing. I wish he just did that every time because that's so easy to avoid. And it's my best chance to hit him. There's nothing intimidating about it. Oh, now this part right here. Now I'm intimidated. No! That was so bad. That was all me, too. That was just me driving bad. It's just like something about just like the rhythm of the skipping and trying to hit the platforms and the bombs that randomly spawn. And they're so good at appearing just beneath where you're gonna land off of one of these jumps. Hey, 1 up. That's nice. Got my foolishly wasted life back. Like, I'm always tempted to just hang out on one extreme edge. It worked out for me really well that time, but it usually doesn't. It usually doesn't. Oh, that part right there. I don't feel like there's any getting better at it. It's just, let's just enjoy the pause music for a moment. I always want to hit the start button to get through the cutscenes and the maps, and when I do that, I frequently end up pausing it right as the stage is loading, like you saw there a moment ago, and it always stops my heart for a moment because I think the game has crashed. Because it's so weird to see your character just hanging out in an empty void, and then the like start of the pause music is so aggressive. For a split instant, I always think that I've destroyed my run. No. I like the snakes level. It's, it may be conceptually flawed. This snake looks a lot like Freddy Krueger's arm, by the way. The problem with the snake level is that it's just a sort of a brute memorization level. So on the one hand, like, it's not really a very, like, sort of fair level. You just have to lose a lot of lives until you know the snake's paths, right? But it's kind of cool anyway. Like, it's kind of fun to climb on the snakes, and once you know the path, it's still got parts of it that, like, you know, keep you on your toes, even if you know what's gonna happen. So I kind of like the snake level, though I will acknowledge it has flaws. It's kind of amazing the amount of variety in the game. Sorry, it's going to take me a moment to get to the full comment there. Ooh, I didn't think I was going to make that. The last jump here at the end, though, is just something else. Amount of variety in the game, when you think about it, when it came out. Yeah, I killed myself a lot reading the chat, but no worries. If that's my fault. If I don't have the self-control to not read for a moment, I'd rather have people keeping me company, and I get distracted and the game takes me longer. I'd rather that than playing all by my lonesome. But yeah, the game has a ton of variety, and it's, like, the thing is, most of it is, like, the game is definitely, like, janky and weird in places. It is by no means a perfectly polished game, but it's almost always consistently fun. One is particularly once you get areas down. A lot of times, like, it's really rough going into an area for the first time in this game. Like, you gotta be kind of willing to accept, like, alright, every time I see somewhere new, I'm gonna get stuck, and I'm gonna lose a lot of progress, and I'm gonna struggle. But, like, then, once you get the area down, they're usually a lot of fun. But it's got a lot of variety, and it's consistently pretty good. That's the first time I've ever taken all those guys out. Nice. I didn't think regular punches could do it. My tag and my hoodie is scratching against the back of my neck and making me ticklish. one good thing about emulators now. You just save state each level and just run them on repeat until you get it down, if that's your preferred method. Yeah. I imagine they certainly can save you a lot of time, and they're really good for practice. I have limited my inability to practice particular parts of games for challenges before, but on the reverse of that, I kind of like the process. Like, when a game has limited lives, limited continues like this, and you're forced to restart over and over again, I kind of like the process of developing the skill, like, a run at a time, slowly getting better at the first half of the game as you uncover the second half of the game more and more. I know not everyone has the time and patience for that kind of thing, so it's good that people have options and tools available to them. But I really like the I don't know, I'm a delayed gratification kind of guy. I like the slow process. And as long and as difficult as this game is, and as slow as the process is in this game's case, one good thing is that I think, like, when I do eventually beat it, if I want to go for a 1cc, I don't think it's going to be that much harder than a regular clear at that point. I've had to work so hard to get each individual level just beaten. That sort of stringing them all together for a 1cc, I don't think it's going to be that much different than a regular clear when it comes down to it. I messed up the last one. I know that I died at the next to last one, but I died at that one because I was preparing my alignment for the last one too early. No! And that made me nervous, and I prepared it too late. Hello, Loyal. Welcome in. Happy Groundhog Day. How am I failing? How am I failing at the very end every time? This really hurts. Hurts my feelings. Battletoads is mean. There we go. I don't know what was going wrong. I know what to do. I just kept blundering. I remember how absolutely pumped I was as a kid the first time I got past the turbo tunnel after trying for so long on that. It's yeah, the way, you know, the way I feel when a victory is enhanced by a struggle is, it's just like top of the world. Loyal says, stoked to see you on. How's your night treating you? It's going well, Loyal. The other night, Tuesday night, when I had to miss the stream, I made a giant pot of red sauce. I've been having pasta and red sauce for dinner every night, and it's just one of those things, like, it tastes better every time you reheat it. So I'm full of good food. I'm a little nervous. It's supposed to get really cold again tonight, so I'm a little nervous about our car battery situation. I really don't want a repeat of Monday with that, but, you know, not a whole lot I can do about it at this point, so just try not to worry, right? What will be, will be. There's no sense in suffering before it happens. Sounds amazing. Gotta love homemade stuff. How cold's it gonna get tonight? I actually don't know the exact temperature. Jelly told me, though, that it was supposed to get disastrously cold. And the thumbnail, yeah, Manu Alejo did that piece of artwork for me a while back, and he was with us at the start of the stream, so I thought I would throw that on and just enjoy it. It's been a while since we pulled it up, and it's a very fine piece of artwork. I may be a bit biased, but I think most would agree. Hey, Mile Hyrule, welcome in. Welcome to more Battletoads. I hope you're well, my friend. And Derek Ocean. Happy Groundhog Day, Derek. Ooh, thank you for the hydrate, Manu. I think we got a bottle of water right off to the side here. Oh. Sartori Merlot. Hey, that's the cheese that I like. Yeah, the Bella Vitano. Did you find some of that? Oh, what do you think of it? I love that cheese. I eat that all the time. It's expensive, so I only eat a little bit. That's why I take very small bites and try and make it last all night. It's so good, though. It's so sweet. Never tasted it. Wanted to do a quote-unquote live tasting on the Frown Zone. All right. I'll be interested to hear what you think. Here in Peru, the weather is hot, Manu says. How is the weather out there? Cold. Very cold, Manu. It's so cold, it's actually been damaging my car battery. We had some trouble. We had some trouble earlier this week and had to recharge. Our car wouldn't start after the cold weather got to it. And it's not out of the question that it'll happen again tonight, but you know, we've got a charger. We've got the tools to handle it if anything does get in our way. It was only a problem earlier this week because the battery died away from home. If it dies at home, we're fine. Ish. You know, it'll still make us late for anything we have to get to, but it's not the end of the world. Come on, he's got to be almost done. He's moving so fast. Yeah, he had one hit left. Hey, Christian, cool. I hope you're doing well, Christian. Gonna chill. Enjoy your chill, my friend. Cheese cost you almost $20. How much did you get? It's about I think it cost me about $1 an ounce. Sometimes I get it on sale and it's slightly cheaper when I'm real lucky. Has a nice smell. What's the common age most people start driving a car in the US? 16. At 16 is when most people start to drive. I don't remember if you get your learner's permit at 15 or 16. Like 5.5 ounces? Wow, that's really pricey. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to if it I don't see the thing is it's made here in Wisconsin, so I think because it's somewhat local to me. It actually isn't made where I thought it was. When I looked it up, I thought it was made a lot closer to me than it is, but so I think that's why I probably get it a lot cheaper than you do. This is good. I love to hear it. It's delicious. In Peru, the common age is 28? Really? And see, I don't remember when I got my learner's permit. I got my actual license at 17. I got it a little late. Because I didn't have a car and I didn't have anywhere I needed to drive. And also I lived in rural Kentucky where they're not always as picky about whether or not you have a license. It'd be nice on a pasta, Mile High Roll says. Yeah, it seems to me like something that could go very well on a pasta dish if combining dairy and pasta is something you're brave enough to do. Cars are not cheap. So the problem is getting a car. Yeah, I didn't actually have my own car until I was 18. Did I get a car at 18? That's not right. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. I didn't get a car until I was 22. I couldn't remember if I got a car when I went to college or when I graduated college. It was when I graduated college. Sold my car doing the whole walking thing now. It's not bad if you live somewhere where things aren't real spread out. It's -20. It's going to be terrible going to work tomorrow. Oh, bundle up well, Mile High Roll. I'm really glad you like that cheese, especially now that I have the sticker shock of how much it costs for you up there. I thought it was cold here, Derek says. Is that -20 Celsius or Fahrenheit? Having your own car at 22 is considered a privilege here. I mean, I definitely agree. I was lucky. I was lucky to get it. Yeah, it's called Satori Bella Vitano. It's a cheese they make here in Wisconsin. And a lot of times I have a little bowl with shavings of it that I snack on during the stream. It's a really sweet cheese. And the variety I get typically comes soaked in Merlot, so it's got a dark purple crust around it. It's really tasty, but it's kind of pricey, so it's something that if you're not just bleeding money, you want to just enjoy it in very small amounts. Buffalo says, I feel like anytime you're getting into negative degree territory and degrees, be it Fahrenheit or Celsius, you're just in for a bad time. And that's in Celsius. Yeah, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I know Celsius and Fahrenheit read the same at -40. I think it's, if it's not exactly -40, it's right around there. If it's -40, it doesn't matter which you're using because the thermometers will read the same. It's -4 Fahrenheit. Goat cheese is my favorite. I've had goat cheese just once. I feel like I'd really like to have it again. Got a mustache hair. Fell off. Got stuck to my lip. I love fancy cheeses. I'm kind of cowardly with cheese. I really like but I really like trying new cheeses in like just straightforward approaches. Just like plain or on top of a cracker. I'm scared to have cheese in a lot of dishes. I'm scared of mixing it with other things, but I'm always excited to sort of try a new cheese in sort of a safe, straightforward context. Oh no, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. Alright, we can do this. Goat cheese is good with honey. Welcome in, Boat Ladder. Pleasure to have you here. Happy Groundhog Day, my friend. I live a 7-minute walk from work in a small town. Everything is close. Yeah, that's, I mean, like when I was, when I was in college, or one of the areas I lived in when we first moved up to Wisconsin was also a college town. Everything's real close together like that. It's really convenient. However, I grew up in a very small town. I grew up in a very, very small town in Kentucky, and not having a car was not an option because you would have to walk for hours to get to a grocery store. It could kind of go both ways with small towns, depending on what what kind of small we're talking about. It's recently become a favorite of mine too. Make baked cherry tomatoes with goat cheese pasta, and it's fantastic. Why am I so bad at this? I've gotten through this part before, but only once. I'm becoming very upset. I'm getting bad jumps out of the water. It's killing me. Goat is an awesome cheese for cooking. Pairs with lots of things very well, Mile High Roll says. I love cheese, Loyal says. Warm, gooey brie is probably my favorite. The most tasteless of cheeses, Mile Hyrule says. I can't weigh in. I don't, I don't actually know what it's supposed to taste like. People think I'm crazy, but I eat strong gorgonzola and blue cheese plain. I haven't been brave enough to try those. My journey with cheese is very much in its infancy. No, I've never tried blue cheese. I have not been brave enough for that one yet. There's an animated version of the Nutcracker. I think it's called the Nutcracker Prince. I used to watch it when I was a kid, and there's a prolonged sequence in the like backstory portion that's told early on in the movie that centers around a blue cheese cake, and that's like the first context that I ever heard of blue cheese in, and it doesn't. That sequence doesn't paint it in a very flattering light. When I think of blue cheese, I think of that. I think of that cartoon. It's a good cheese with hot sauces. I know they always serve it with wings, right? You can get ranch or blue cheese dressing with wings. But I'm not brave enough to try either. When I eat hot wings, there's no relief from the pain. I like to put blue cheese on crackers with some hot sauce, Smile Hyrule says. That seems like the thing to do. This is the NES, Loyal. I own the Sega Battletoads, and I think we'll probably play it too. Of course we're going to play it someday, because I own it, but I gotta master the NES one first. So it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while before I make it to the Genesis one. But I do already have both of them. Yeah, the you know what? That should be an alias for it, Mile Hyrule. It's a collection is the command. I should put in games as an alias. That never occurred to me. But the, so, I don't know a lot of the details. You know, because as usual, I try not to research games I know I want to play. But I think the Genesis and the NES game, I think that they're basically the same overall, but just, you know, because they're on different platforms, like there's going to be stuff about like the graphics and the physics that are different, and you know, the same game's never exactly the same, and especially when you've got an 8-bit system and a 16-bit system. I'm sure the Genesis one is gonna look a little more polished at the least. But I think they're supposed to be basically the same. And there's also a couple of them on Game Boy. Stage 9 is the, it's like the hardest thing ever. You and Jelly should, co-op this on stream. Well, Jelly and I might do a co-op project at some point. Now that we have the couch down here, like we can both sit and play games together again. So at some point we might do something together, but it will probably be like what she does for her channel, where it's a sort of a pre-recorded thing, not a live thing. Jelly's not as she's not as comfortable with the live performance thing. Sitting on an old couch like that, playing co-op NES games in 2023 is a treasure, my Hyrule says. I love my life, Frownie. Loyal says, thank you, Loyal. Yeah, Jelly, I don't think Jelly is ever gonna want to go live, but we might, we might pre-record something for her channel or something like that. Could be fun. We've been playing Super Mario World off camera on the weekends, just kind of slowly working at it. And it's a lot of fun. No. Thing is, though, I don't even feel like I need to play myself. I'm just entertained. I'm just entertained watching her play. Hey, cows, welcome in. Happy Groundhog Day. The toads are beating me up. They're winning the battle. Hey, VR. I played VR for too long is here. Good to see you. Who did it better, TMNT water level or Battletoads water level? I've never played the original TMNT game VR. I can't say. I can say that this level is absolutely brutal. It is pure, undiluted agony. On the NES though, I've only played the second Turtles game, the arcade port. Super Mario World is one of my faves. It's a great game. So I don't know if or when it happened, but we were talking about sort of the couch co-op thing. I'm kind of thinking that Jelly and I might make we might do a video playing through Goof Troop on the SNES, because I've heard that's a really good two-player game. And neither of us have played that one before. Cog propulsion. These gears are just... They're devious. They're devious. I love the collab idea, Frownie. We've been wanting that since forever. Well, we'll see. But like I said, Jelly doesn't want to do anything live, so it would be more like, you know, it'd be a pre-recorded thing and probably edited down more like one of her Let's Plays. Those tadpoles. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. They're so inconsistent. They're not... if they were in the same place every time, I could learn to manage them, but... as to any given attempt, they could just appear anywhere in the game. He is way too low to be a problem to me. What is happening? Life is good. The year does not matter, Mile High Road says. You don't even see... Must be nice having a wife that shares some of your hobbies with you, Sparrow says. I know of people who don't have that kind of crossover. Greg, for example, doesn't share the same passion for music as I do. So it can be excluding. Doesn't mean you aren't right for each other. There's lots of people successful at their craft in happy relationships. I mean, well, certainly. And there are things, you know. There are certainly things that Jelly is interested in and likes to do that I don't have a particularly deep interest in, and vice versa. And, I mean, Jelly plays games and enjoys them, but not nearly, like, to the degree that I do. She's a lot more diverse in her hobbies and interests, and I'm a lot more, like, you know, just kind of laser focused on video games. There goes that run. We'll do one more, but we got to take it from the top. I did not match my current PB. I got close, but we've actually been further in that level before. Time for me to boogie off for dinner, Buffalo says. Good luck with the rest of Battletoads and Dark Souls. See you later. Thank you for being here with us. It's been great to chat with you, Buffalo. I hope you have a wonderful dinner. Thank you very much for the good luck wishes, and we will see you again, I hope. And I do wonder, the longer you're with someone, the more you become like each other. So they say. So they say. I can say the same about my music stuff, Sparrow says, with the laser focus. Yeah, my interests aren't super diversified. I mean, you know, I'm casually into the guitar and, you know, stuff like that, but like, yeah, outside of games, and primarily retro games, I don't really keep up with much of, like, I'm not really, like, I don't follow sports. I don't keep up with movies and television. It's mostly video games for me, with, you know, with a little bit of cooking and a little bit of guitar thrown in there. While I love the whole retro gaming thing, I do spend more time watching others than playing myself. 100% facts, Loyal says. Cheers to that. I certainly watch more than play myself, but that's more of a cost barrier for entry on my part, Cow says. Yeah, I would definitely, I think I definitely, then I would, thinking about it like that, I'd be in that boat with retro stuff myself, you know. If I didn't, if I weren't lucky enough to have so much of this sort of preloaded. Time has come for me to lurk on the tablet, Loyal says, while I lie down and catch some Z's. Have a great stream and stay warm, everyone. Thank you, Loyal. I hope you sleep well. It has been good having you here as always. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow or very soon. No. I have to protect... The thing is, like, the thing about the juggling is, like, you have to protect your rope, so... Like, if you focus on juggling to the exclusion of the other bird, you're gonna get your rope cut. That one bird. That one bird is so aggressive. Again, I was one hit away from the one up on the bird, and then it went badly. What happened last time we were in the tunnel, too. Just like that. Alright, I think we only lost one life. That's like the way to take these guys out. Oh no, I forgot about the Space Invaders. Actually get fewer points doing it like that, I think. Yeah, but you know, sometimes it's good to sacrifice points for speed. I know that delays getting a 1-up, but hey, who needs extra lives anyway? The plan's not to die, right? Ah. Welcome in, Bumblebee. Good to see you again. Happy Groundhog Day. How are we doing tonight? It's like Groundhog Day. It's a repeat of yesterday. I'm doing about the same. I made it to stage 9 again. But it beat me up. So we're back at the start. It's February 2nd is Groundhog Day, so it's not still Groundhog Day very many places in the world, but a few. I would totally duo with this guy. That's very nice of you to say, Bumblebee. I certainly, I'm flattered. I'm flattered by that. I do want to. I don't want to build up false expectations for you, though. I don't think that's very likely to happen. It's nothing personal. I tend to run solo. The only person I'm really likely to co-op with is my wife. Oh, Master Tuesday, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. And thank you for the wheel. Let me just find somewhere relatively safe and we'll do that. What did the groundhog say? I have no idea, cows. Groundhog Day is not a day that I necessarily take especially seriously. I really like the movie. But no, I didn't even bother to look up what the word is. I hope we're gonna get 6 more weeks of winter. All right, let me go ahead and prepare a cracker. I need to go buy some more crackers. I'm running really low. I'm getting down to like there's not a lot of whole crack. I mean, I know I don't eat a whole cracker anyway, but there's not a lot of whole ones left for me to break. I'm gonna have to start using crackers of strange and interesting sizes. It's so cold, they had to cook and eat the groundhog for one warmth. No! One of my life goals is to complete Battletoads in 2-player. It'll most likely be with my sister, but if you want to try, let me know. I will tell you if anything changes about the way that I do things, and I think that it's a possibility, I will let you know. But again, I don't want to give you false hope. But I will let you know if anything changes. I am It has been mentioned before that that 2-player Battletoads is quite the brutal and unique challenge. So there may come the day that it intrigues me, but for now, probably not. VR says, to quote Google this year, the famous Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow Thursday in Pennsylvania, meaning 6 more weeks. However, Staten Island Chuck did not, signaling an early spring. It's almost as if this is an unreliable system for predicting the weather. With all due respect to meteorologists, I will say I kind of think all methods of predicting the weather seem to be pretty unreliable. I don't know about you guys, but I sure feel like we get awfully surprised by the weather. I think that we have weather prediction down to more of an art than a science, really. If I have anything to go off from this, Michigan will roll the dice on the weather like always. How on earth did you know how to pronounce that correctly? Because of the film Groundhog Day. I check my groundhog each day for the weather. Hasn't failed me yet. I stand corrected. I say that despite several Australian places having rather whack names, Tuesday says. Alright, let's spin. Extra sauce. This is the mid-level heat. I think it's hotter than advertised, personally. It is a just straightforward habanero sauce. And and comes with the intensity of such. Woo. That'll wake you up. I think maybe this one seems hotter because it's more acidic. So it kind of stings in two ways. Maybe that's why I think it's hotter. So I ordered, all of these came as a set. I ordered another set, a 6-pack of sauces. And they're less interesting in a way because they're all, I think all 6 of them are habanero based. But they seem to have a very wide breadth of heat ranges. And one of them proclaims itself to be, quote, comatose level heat. That's a fairly alarming term. Thank you for the GG. Dice roll tomorrow, -3 Monday, 38 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. What do you mean Wooloo Mooloo is hard to pronounce? My weather predicting method of walking outside, and if I get damp, I go back in and get an umbrella. Works like a charm, Cow says. Alright, let's get me out of here. Hey, nice, we have a raid coming in. Welcome in. You just missed. We were just, I was just eating hot sauce a moment ago, so I'm standing in place a moment while the burn finishes dying down. But welcome in, Soda Wave. Always happy to see you, Soda. What were you doing tonight? What were you getting up to? Jak 3. I haven't played any of the Jak and Daxter games yet. I really want to. I was kind of thinking I've got, for the PlayStation 2, I've got like 4 or 5. I've got 4 or 5 games in the Jak and Daxter series, and I've got 4 or 5 games in the Ratchet and Clank series, and I've never played either of them. I don't really know much about them, but they seem similar to me. It's probably just because they're both named character and character. They seem to be spiritually similar in some way. So I've always had this idea that if I ever finish everything I'm playing at the same time on the stream, that I'll start both of those series together at the same time, and we'll alternate them night after night. But I want to do that when I don't have other stuff going on, a lot of other stuff going on to interrupt them. So it's probably going to be a while yet. Let me rewind the chat just a moment. Tuesday says we got places like Kakadu, Gun. I don't know. I don't know how to say any of this stuff, Tuesday. You got me. My uncle is a meteorologist on a local Colorado news channel. I make fun of him whenever I see him. Hey, Volporium, welcome in. Thank you for coming along with the raid. Thank you very much. Here for the Battletoads pain. Yes. We're doing all right. I'm having fun with Battletoads. I'm struggling, but I'm having fun. Oh, where'd my... Highly recommend it. Jak 3 is my favorite game. All-time favorite game? Favorite console game. Volporium says. That's high praise. Would recommend Jak and Daxter. All right. I'm gonna start walking around again here. So, this is my everlasting first playthrough, right? I'm trying to beat this game for the first time. Like all my first playthroughs, I've done no research. I am refusing all offers of help or information. It's completely blind. So I'm left with only my own brain to get me through to the end. So it's not always pretty, but I've been working on it for about 2 weeks. We do a run or two a night. This is the second run of the night, and my PB so far is somewhere in stage 9. I can pretty reliably make it up to stage 9, but I've never cleared that one yet. So I've never seen anything after that part of the game. But it could happen. It could happen on any of these runs. I could get real lucky and make it all the way through. I'm getting fairly consistent with most of the stuff leading up to where I get stuck, but I do have a lot of trouble with stage 5. Stage 5 can be a run killer for me yet. I know nothing about this game, but I know people like it. It's brutal. How did you like the turbo tunnel? So the thing about the turbo tunnel, it's actually one of the parts of the game that I feel like I picked up fairly quickly. I think I'm pretty decent at the turbo tunnel. I have a lot more trouble with the second quote-unquote turbo tunnel on the Inferno stage. There's like the airplane part that's kind of like it. That one gives me more trouble than the first turbo tunnel did. But I have the most trouble. I actually have the most trouble with the surfboards on stage 5. They feel very wonky. The like skipping movement and the random obstacles. They give me a bit of a headache. Oh, that's bogus. Stage one, I can usually make it through without losing a life. I'm bleeding lives now. Mananga Tang. Stage 1, I can usually make it through without losing a life. Stage 3, the turbo tunnel is usually fine. This stage is actually usually fine. I'm doing worse here than I have in a while. Stage 6 is fine. And that's about it. Stage 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9 are a bit of a struggle for me. 8's not terrible, but I'm not good at the boss yet. And I don't really hate 7. Nine is really rough, but it's my furthest stage, so like part of the reason, like, I don't really count 9 in the same way because I'm still discovering new things about it. Like every time I make it further. Yuck. It's alright, we can afford a hit. I miss the food. No, I would never warp. I've got to maximize. You gotta maximize the challenge. I've got to do it legit. Every time I have to face every challenge. That was close. Ah, come on. Warping is juggling. Don't give me suggestions or advice, Bumblebee. I need you to respect the way that I play things. I really don't like for people to tell me what to do. Bumblebee, I'm gonna time you out. Alright, I want us to be friendly with one another, but you're starting to push things. I try to be a friendly and patient guy, but I do have limits, and I would prefer for you to not find them. Alright, goodbye. You can come back in 10 minutes. You're not gonna get a lot of second chances out of me. You may want to find another stream to watch if that's gonna be your pattern of behavior. That was short-lived. This part right here is my worst part by far. And I feel like so like the thing is about this part is that it tends to be like almost all or nothing for me. I either make it through pretty easily, you know, like where I only like lose a life or two, or sometimes none. Sometimes I make it through on my first try. But it's like I'll either make it through pretty cleanly or I just won't get through it all. And I'll be stuck here and I'll game over. And I'm not consistent in the ways I mess up either. Like I'm good at I'm good at missing the ramps, and I'm good at landing on the bombs. And I'm good at walking into them instead of walking around them. I love how positively you're framing this. all the ways I'm good at failing, yes. Soda, I don't even know how to respond to backseating and spoilers of that magnitude. You shut down my brain with that one. This snake looks like Freddy Krueger's arm. I pointed it out the last time we saw him, and now I have to point it out all the time. It's like the exact same shades of red and green. That's a very long sleeve. He does have long sleeves. In the first movie, there's one shot where his arms grow real long, like 6 feet. And why is his hand a snake? Believe it or not, he actually turns into a snake as well. I think in the third film, his hand doesn't turn into a snake, though. He's like his whole body does. Actually, in the sixth film, I think in the sixth film, he turns into a snake, too. When they... Spoilers, when they defeat him, he, like, explodes into, like, 3 snakes. There's a lot of snakes in Nightmare on Elm Street. Snakes are scary. In the alleyway, yeah. I find that scene so funny. Yeah, it's not a very, it's not a very good effect. And, like, I've heard a commentary or documentary section where they talk about how proud they were of stringing up his fake arms with, like, fishing line or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, not the best effects work. I'm just imagining these little snakes stealing people's sleeves to wear as jackets. Proud jank. One moment, my friends. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. No, no worries. We all love a good dance break every now and then. It's great. I've said it before. They put the best music on the pause screen. And it's the best decision you could make, right? You let the player hear the best music in the game anytime they want. I do have to say I am. I'm making an assumption there, because there's quite possibly more and better music I've yet to hear, but I really doubt that they're gonna top that. How are you gonna have that song and a better one in the same game? It just doesn't happen, right? Oh, same problem I had last time. You know, that's not really Bumblebee the way that I would expect someone to come back. I think we'd be better off without your company. You're not in a position to be making demands. You're in a position to be making apologies. Good night. Some people. What in the world did I come into here? Oh, someone trying to backseat me too much. And if my patience wears thin, then they're going out of their way. Thank you. You guys, you did perfectly fine, both of you. I really appreciate it. Hey, here we go. Illy Beans, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. How's your night going? What were you up to? And how'd your stream go? The Last of Us Remastered. Right on. I hope you're enjoying it. I haven't actually had any experience with that game in any of its forms. I know it seems to be pretty generally well loved, at least, the first game. I don't know about the sort of remasters and remakes. I know the sequel was, like, pretty divisive, but I've heard pretty much nothing but good things about the first one. Battletoads. It was pretty good. Good to hear. Good to hear. New picture is good. Oh, so this is the artwork you mean, StatCat. This is actually, it's a piece of art I've actually had for a while. A viewer, Manu Alejo, he made this for me a while back. It's been a good long time since I showed it off, but Manu was here earlier, and I thought why not bring it out and enjoy it? It's been too long. I'm a little. I feel like it's maybe a little. It might be a little biased or possibly narcissistic, but I really like it. So yeah, I've been struggling. I've been doing the old first playthrough of Battletoads for well, it's been about 2 weeks. I've been playing it almost every night. We make 1 or 2 runs a night, and I still haven't ever beaten it. Stage 9 is I spent a lot of time in stage 9. I can make it there, and I get a little further almost every time, but only by a little. So if we make it to stage 10, it's going to be a real achievement. I hate to raid and run, but it's pretty late for me. I wish you luck with the run. This game can be pretty brutal. It sure can, Illy, and no problem with the raid and run. By all means, take care of yourself, my friend. I appreciate you stopping by and trusting us with your people, bringing your folks along. It's really good of you, and we really thank you for it, my friend. Get some well-deserved rest, and hopefully I'll be able to see you again. Diva, welcome in. Good to see you. I hope your Thursday has treated you very well. This is one of my favorites. Never finished it. I'm brand new to it. I just picked it up recently, and I've actually had the copy of the game for like a very long time, like maybe like a decade and a half. It's been sitting on my shelf, and I've never bothered to give it a try. I know I've known its reputation, but I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It's devastatingly hard though, but learnable. So far, almost every part of it seems to be the kind of thing like after a while you get it down and you can start moving through it pretty fluidly, but Is just the trouble is every new thing that you encounter is as devastating as everything else was before. So there's rarely any large chunks of progress to be made. But it's definitely a fine game. The motorbike kept teasing me. Yeah, there's quite a few. There's quite a few areas like that in the game actually, where you're on like there's like the hover bike, and there's an airplane later on, and there's a surfboarding section. They're all kind of similar, but in that they're like those like like fast auto-scrolling obstacle courses. And they're all really tough. The first one, the turbo tunnel, the one with the bikes, is actually it's actually one of the few parts of the game that I feel came pretty easily to me. Though I definitely understand that to be very unusual. I think I'm lucky to I picked that part up kind of fast, but then there's so much stuff that I think should be so much easier, and I'm the worst at it. You did finish Battletoads and Double Dragon. I haven't played that one yet. I think that game is also supposed to be pretty hard too, though. I don't know, like, how they compare sort of 1-to-1. But I'm given to believe that anything with Battletoads anywhere near the title is going to be a challenging experience. It's a good crossover game. I've only played the very first Double Dragon on the NES, and I found it to be alarmingly difficult. I had a very hard time. It's such a short game, and it took me a very long time to make it through the like platforming section near the end, and the push blocks. Oh, the push blocks. I think I've got a copy of that one, though, for the Super NES. I have the Super NES version of that one, so assuming I can continue to beat Battletoads games and make it further down the row of them, I'll give that one a try some night. Probably several years from now. Love Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time I need to replay too, because I didn't have that one as a kid, but my cousin had it, and I would play it with him. I don't think we ever beat it when we were kids. I played it and I beat it, in air quotes, on the stream one night, but I cheated. I went into the options and I turned my lives up. So I haven't done it legit yet. I have to go back to it and restore my honor. I will. I will. It doesn't excuse my behavior, but I will explain. I will explain the reason I broke down and decided I had to turn my lives up was because I couldn't handle the the dash, the way the dash works by default with the auto dash, and I didn't know that that was something you could change in the controls. So hey, welcome in, Master Max. Good to see you. Thank you for the raid. It's almost a double raid. We just had it's almost a triple raid, right? Because back to back, we're very lucky. We've got all kinds of great people coming in tonight. We've had Soda Wave and then Illy Beans, and now Master Max is here. Fantastic. Metroid Fusion. How is Metroid Fusion treating you? Is it your... I need to ask, is it your first playthrough of Metroid Fusion? I'll not give anything away about it, though I do have a thing or two to say. They remastered it in 3D. Yeah, I think I played that one too. That one I did. I played that one with a friend when I was in college, just after college. I think the reshelled TMNT4. I liked it. My friend didn't. He thought it was too changed. Welcome in, Big Daddy King Kratos. Good to have you here. Thank you for coming along with the raid, checking out the stream. Thank you for the follow. Very kind of you. I hope you've had a wonderful Groundhog Day. Wish they made TMNT 2012 version, like a game based off of the 2012 version of the cartoon. It's only arcade. All the fun. Not first playthrough. Been a long time, so I don't remember anything. Ridley. Oh, that Ridley, he gets us every time, does he not? Sodawave says Fusion is my favorite. So Super Metroid is my favorite. I've only played 4 Metroid games, and I would rank them from best to worst. And I'm sorry, I would rank them Super, Dread, Zero Mission, Fusion. I'm willing to be open-minded that Fusion may be a better game upon replay. But I didn't like Fusion as much as those other 3. I felt like Fusion was constantly railroading me, and Adam was constantly talking at me, and I couldn't take either of those. If you're like a master of the game and able to sequence break it, you might have a lot more fun with it. But I didn't like the talkiness, and I didn't like feeling like I was railroaded on a linear track the whole game. So I didn't like that one. I mean, when I say you have to, this is on a scale. This is on a scale. If that was the only Metroid game I ever played, it would be an amazing game. If Fusion was the only Metroid game I ever played, it would probably, it'd probably be like 9 out of 10. But I played those other 3, and yes, Zero Mission I got problems with too. Zero Mission is very linear and very handholdy at the start, and I don't like the stealth section at the end of Zero Mission, which I think is uncommon. I feel like more people have told me they like that section, but I didn't like that section. I think I was probably doing it wrong, though. But Zero Mission was also the first Metroid game I played all the way through, so... and to be fair, while I really like Metroid Dread, I did not like Adam in Metroid Dread either. I think Adam is the worst thing to ever happen to a Metroid game. Super Metroid was perfect. Nobody ever talks at you in Super Metroid. Nintendo doesn't trust us enough. I didn't hear other M in there. I haven't played that one. I've only played the 4 I mentioned. So the original NES one I've never finished, so I can't count it yet. I still have the one to do on the Game Boy. I haven't done Samus Returns or any of the Prime games. So I'm missing a lot of I'm missing a lot of the series. And the ones that I've played, I've only played through once. So my opinions are subject to possible change. But we'll see. Same deal with Zero Mission, played but don't remember it at all. Gonna play it after Fusion. Did anyone beat TMNT 1, the video game? So I've never even played that one. D. On the NES, I've only played the second one. And I haven't been able to beat it. There's a million levels. It goes on forever. It's so hard, and there's endless levels. Oh, it's rough. Hey, Long Loves Retro, good to see you. Back to the Toads. Still struggling with Stage 9. Stage 9, for anyone. I'm trying to beat this for the first time. Like all my first playthroughs, we're doing it completely blind, so I don't know what I'm doing. I do no research, and I refuse all help until I make it through on my own. It's rough. But Stage 9's my PB. I've been here a lot. I just haven't made it through. No stop, we don't talk about other M. I thought you were saying no stop. I thought you were telling me no stop Tuesday because you didn't want to hear my bogus Metroid Fusion opinions. Hey, Sir Rack of Lamb, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing the What? Thank you for this. So the artwork, this is not Jelly's artwork. This is a viewer, Manu Alejo made this. Actually a while back, but Manu popped in earlier tonight, and so that I thought it was it'd been a while, so I thought I'd show it off again. That's not a Jelly artwork. It's very nice. I like it. The style of it, it looks to me like it reminds me of like an album cover for Iron and Wine. I wanted to say, Sir Rack of Lamb, I appreciate you showing off some of your collecting finds in the Discord. I appreciate you posted some pictures. I feel bad because they're things that a lot of them, they're things I've never seen before. So I don't have. I don't have anything worthwhile to say in response. I just don't know what the games that you posted. I don't know. I didn't recognize either of them. I had a small collection of like Marvel Comics trading cards as a kid, but they were completely different style from the ones that you posted. And they weren't really an interest of mine. They were something that one of my older cousins had, and then like just kind of gave me because he was thrown out. I remember looking through them, and I looked through them and read them all. And thought they were interesting enough to hold on to, but it's not something that I have like a great sort of love or attachment to. I think most of the ones that I had have a much more like metallic kind of look to them. The way I remember them, they all seem to be really metallic looking, for lack of a better descriptor. Not holographic, but they just have like a painted metal kind of look about them. I hope you're getting some bargains. I love a good find. When you get it for cheap, it's even better, Sparrow says. That's the only way. That's the only way I pick up stuff for my collections. I've got lots of things. Most of the stuff I have, I've never seen before. I have a, well, I don't know how other people would measure it, but I have what seems to me a fairly large collection of Pokemon cards that, again, are like a trash salvage. When I was in college, one of my friends was just like, he had I don't know, like a shoebox of Pokemon cards, and was just throwing them away. And I said, don't throw those away. I'll hang on to those. Why would you throw them away? He's like, I don't need these. It's kind of a mix though, because I've got them from. I've also got. I'd say like half of them, and a shoebox might be an exaggeration. Might be closer to like 3/4 of a shoebox. But like half of them are the ones that were my friends that I salvaged from his trash, and I've got another like equal portion of them that are more current ones, I think, that I found at a thrift store and just bought a whole box of them. Their conditions vary somewhat, but they're mostly all pretty good. They've been really taken care of. But I don't know anything about them. Like, I know that, like, at least for a while, not that long ago, they were a fairly hot commodity. But I never collected them firsthand, or learned how to play the game or anything, so they don't mean a whole lot. They don't mean a whole lot to me, other than, I like the ones that have the older Pokemon on them, because those are the characters I'm nostalgic for. As nice little pieces of art. The cards were a gamble. I had a bunch as a kid, but I've never seen this set before. When I found out what it was worth, I was very surprised. Nice. I have a full set of Indiana Jones cards, Looney Tunes baseball cards, and World War II fighter plane cards. I have a complete set of cards for the Dark Crystal and RoboCop 2. And of course, Super Mario Brothers the movie. My Dark Crystal and RoboCop 2 sets are just sets where you just buy, you know, a box with all the cards in it. So those, like, while they're in a sense complete, they are likely missing, like, if there were any specialty cards, like if there were any holographic or promotional cards, those might not be part of the complete set. My Mario Brothers set is a complete set. To the best of my knowledge, there doesn't exist a card outside of the 104 that I have. I think it's 104. I think there's 100 regular cards, 3 holographic cards, and a 0 card that was like a promotional item. I've thought about doing a channel point redemption too, where we just draw a random Mario card and admire the artwork and read the text. I think that would be very amusing for everyone who is me. I've recently developed a slightly unhealthy interest in old-school computers, namely the PDP-11, Sparrow says, which is a mini-computer. It's the size of a photocopier. The earlier models were even the size of a photocopier, like an industrial-sized photocopier. The earlier models were even bigger. Lots of cool switches and blinking lights. The Unix operating system was initially written for the PDP-11 before it was ported to other systems, thanks in part to the advent of the C programming language. I understood very little of that. I do know that as you roll back the calendar, the size of a computer increases, though. Once I get my game room set up again, I will start to show off and feature some of the random stuff I've gathered over the years. I'm looking forward to that, Sir Rack of Lamb. I have no doubt that you have just a treasure trove of bizarre and interesting collectibles. And I, for one, would really enjoy checking them out. There's a mini replica of the PDP 1170 computer, called the PIDP-11, which is fully functional and uses a Raspberry Pi to emulate the real PDP hardware too. I really want one, but I honestly have no use for it. I'm just carried away with the cool switches and lights and the fact that it's a mini replica. What am I supposed to do about that guy? What am I supposed to do about this shark ruining my life? Keeping me from getting my one up. Alright, this is not that bad, except I don't know how to fight this. Duck. Alright, that's not bad. Ooh, I thought that shark... Ooh, the duck comes back to life. I gotta watch out. I thought that shark was gonna swim through the pipes and come down here and get me. Alright, so get him and get away from him. Oh no, there's another one! They're so vicious. We hit a new PB, by the way. I've never been to those ducks before. So that's cause for excitement. My 1-up despawned. I think there was a 1-up there. Why? Why are they so vicious? There he is. It went away. That's so weird. Give me my 1-up. I could say that about everything in the game. Why is it so vicious? Oh, well, I know they're defeatable. I took them down once. The 1-up disappeared again. That's bogus. I suppose it's no different to many people who bought an NES mini replica. They probably just let them sit on the shelf for the most part. I don't like these ducks. Especially since it doesn't make any sense when they become aggressive and when they don't. Maybe I just don't attack them. Maybe I can just walk by them. Maybe I'm getting myself into trouble. I'm scared to try that, though. I gave him 1 punch and he didn't care. Oh, he cared. Alright, we'll just play it like this. Nope. Oh, I wonder if I can duck under him. Duck. Alright, that's probably what you do. You probably don't even have to fight them. They don't... I don't know. They're... I can't decide whether or not they're naturally aggressive. I think I'm unnecessarily provoking them. Oh no! Nicely done. Thank you. Thank you. May I call you Long? Or is there a way you prefer your name be abbreviated? We've got hit back here. Uncharacteristically smooth. Long is fine. Longview has been, online name has been Longview since about 98. That is a good stretch to carry a single online handle. That's impressive. Whoa. Used to go into chat rooms is the name I used. It's just followed me since. Over forums and into streaming. I can't believe I made it back here immediately after the first try. Or immediately after the last try. Like, usually when I reach a new area, I don't make it back here. I don't make it back to it. So, like, this is real good. This is uncharacteristically good. I really hope it doesn't fall apart. But I don't know how to deal with this duck. And he's a one-hit kill. That 1-up keeps disappearing. I need that. I need that. That's my life insurance. Oh yeah, I didn't try ducking under him. I need to try that. I know that, like, I'm despawning that 1-up. Alright, ducking did not work. There we go. That's... I was just being foolish about it. No! That's what I was afraid was gonna happen to me every other time. I was celebrating. I was patting myself on the back. And I was celebrating. I made it back here so quick. I was gonna say, this is the one. We're gonna make it to stage 10. I didn't say it, but the game knew I was going to, and so I had to be punished. So it's real bad I lost a life. See now, this is more like it. This is how things usually go after after I make progress. I usually do really bad. This is more like it. Imagine doing this with two people. I've heard that the two-player mode is its own uniquely brutal experience. So I'm lucky for now, at least since I tend to ride solo so frequently. That's a horror I don't have to experience yet. Hey, Cypher, and welcome in. Thank you for the raid, my friend. Hey, I hope you've been doing well. Very grateful to have you drop by and bring your friends along. Thank you for trusting us with your people. What were you getting up to tonight? What was going on your stream, and how did it go for you? Battletoads is falling apart for me. If you've come in specifically for Battletoads, I gotta let you know I'm almost about to hit game over on my last run of the night, so there might not be much to see. I'm getting crushed. I've been at it for 3 hours. And I'm getting crushed. This is a never-ending first playthrough. I've been making attempts at Battletoads. I've never beaten it before, and you know, like always, I'm doing it blind. So I know I've got at least another level after this, but I'm not really sure how much more. Because the map, just based on the map, there's another level after this at least. But I've been on level 9 for a while. This is my PB. I did see further tonight into the level than I've ever been. So that's exciting. You're welcome. Doing well. Hope the same for you. Good luck with Battletoads. Thank you for the good luck wishes, my friend. Hey, Mora, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here with us. Happy Groundhog Day. He's practicing Spider-Man and X-Men and Arcade's Revenge on the SNES for an event tomorrow. And some GoldenEye 007 re-release on the Xbox Game Pass. Right on. That Spider-Man and Arcade's Revenge. Hats off to that. Good luck with your event. That game, I didn't have that game, but my cousin had it, and I would play it with him when we were kids, and I was trash at it. That game is so hard. I'd be more afraid of that than I would of Battletoads. And I have experience with that one. I mean, I've had experience with like a level or two. Oh boy, that's a challenging game. I love it, especially the soundtrack. I think I have a copy of it now, though. I think it's in my collection. I'll try to remember to keep an ear out for the soundtrack, because I gotta be honest, I can't say I remember it after all these years. But I'll try and leave myself a mental note if I pick that game up again. I'll keep an ear out for the soundtrack. That Spider-Man game was brutal as well. Long agrees. Thank you for the good luck wishes, Mora. I had so the past couple runs, 2 runs, well, not runs, but my credits now that I'm using on this run. 2 credits back, I had a really smooth run, and I made it, well, I had a really good run. I made it further than I've ever seen. And then 1 credit back, I had a really smooth run where I repeated the success of the immediately preceding credit, which is unusual, because usually after I do good, I start to just blunder all over the place. And now on this credit, I'm blundering all over the place. I think this is my last credit, and it's been a disaster of an attempt at stage 9, unfortunately. I bled all my lives away immediately. I can't. I hold your breath for good luck. This is, so I've never reached a checkpoint after this. This is the furthest, like, checkpoint wise. I have gotten further into this too, but I haven't never reached another checkpoint beyond this yet. In theory, I should have infinite tries here, because there's a 1-up right after the checkpoint. But I keep despawning that 1-up. I keep despawning it before I can collect it, or dying before I can collect it. So infinite tries actually doesn't exist. It should, but it doesn't. Battletoads is definitely no joke. Props to you. You're doing good through here. Thank you. It's not. It hasn't come naturally. I have to say, I've been here a while, so. But I definitely appreciate you saying so. can't really figure out how these ducks. I haven't really figured out how these ducks work yet. That wasn't a one-hit kill. They've always been a one-hit kill. That's weird. Huh. Well. Oh, please. Stay away from me, shark. That is the tiniest shark I've ever seen in a video game. Hold your breath for good luck. Frownie quote of the night. Alright, I don't know why I'm fighting this second one here. There's no reason to fight this one. I actually don't know if there's much of a reason to fight the last one. If I do the punch and run thing. Go! Ah, victory. Alright, this is a new PB. My toad has gone further into the level than I've ever been. And look at these spikes. Look at how disgusting this is. How am I supposed to do this? You can't get through here. Oh, I did it once and I have to do it again. Oh. The shark too? Really? Oh, I got lucky. I thought that was it. My life flashed before my eyes. And one of these guys at the top. Oh, look at this. Look at the fun I'm about to have over here. Hang on. Let's see if we can preview this. So it looks like just left and right. I want to go down onto a spike. So hold the left there. Squeeze through left. All the way to the left. And... Nope, not all the way to the left. Okay, so just hug the blocks. I just remembered, this is completely off topic, but I had the most satisfying Pokemon battle today, Tuesday says. Alright, I welcome you to elaborate. I don't know that I'll... fully appreciate the details, but I... Victory! Stage 10! We see a new stage. Oh, we're gonna see a new thing. So this, we're gonna see what we have here. I think we have 2 stages. That looked like 2 stages. All right, I saw the Gargantuan and the Queen's Dark Tower. That's got to be the end. Hey, thank you for the trophies. Thank you for all the celebratory emotes. I'm feeling happy. We've done better than I've done in a very long time. I actually don't hate this pink and green together like this. It's kind of a jarring color combination, but at the same time, I kind of don't hate it. Welcome in, J Money Club. Good to see you again. Oh, I thought it was over. I thought we were just done. What is... Fine, see you later. Huh. Well, I have thoughts. I think I'm supposed to race that guy? He showed up here? Alright, yeah, see ya. No. Oh, okay. No! Get back here! I got one more try. Yeah, I don't know that like I was punching that guy for a while, but it didn't seem like I was hurting him, so my suspicion is that I was right to run from him. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Except I give him a punch every now and then if I can. If he creeps up on me, I'll give him a punch. It's alright if he passes me, because he gets stalled up somewhere, too. I feel like I was falling better before. Yeah. This is going to be a series of that. I think it's going to be a series of that. I have such a positive association with this color combo, pinks with that green. It's my sister's favorite color combo. It's a little jarring. They're a little bright, but it's not, it's not ugly. Whoa! Eddie appeared down there. And I'm at a game over. I don't get to try it anymore. Well, we got to see a lot more than I thought we were gonna see. I thought it was curtains. I thought it was all over on stage 9, and we got to a new level. Life is good. Life is good. We're doing very well. New level hype, yes, yes indeed. I feel good. Your sister could be a bit jarring herself, so it fits. We won't tell her you said that. Oh, it's good. So Battletoads beats us, but it's not a clean victory. We held our own tonight. We saw a new stage. That stage, I'm tempted to say, is not. I don't know. I know I'm getting myself into trouble, but it feels way better than stage 9. First impression is I like it better than stage 9. I have a feeling I'm gonna hate it later, but that first part wasn't so bad. I don't know how many of those races we're going to have to win, and I don't know how fast our opponent's going to get, but for now, I'm going to try and be positive and say, we made progress. I'm hopeful that the next stage is not as bad as stage 9. The thing I'm really actually scared about is I don't know if I can make it through stage 9 again, because I kind of just scraped by. So, we'll see. We'll play more Battletoads tomorrow night. I should be streaming tomorrow night. Plan is to start up around 11 p.m. Central Time, like usual. Give or take about a half an hour in either direction. Tomorrow night, the plan is for Battletoads and Contra. At least Contra 3, but maybe some other Contra games as well. Maybe the Contra Adventure. I haven't beaten that one yet. But at a minimum, we're gonna play Battletoads and Contra 3. We're not done tonight though. There's more to do tonight. We're just stepping away from Battletoads. We're gonna head over to the Switch and we're gonna continue Dark Souls. I've been doing my first playthrough through Dark Souls. If you think playing through Battletoads blind is a foolish nightmare challenge, well, guess what? I've been doing the same thing through Dark Souls. So if you want to see some real confusion and suffering, oh, just come along. Just come along. We've got a bottomless well of it. But I've done really well with Dark Souls. I've been playing it for a very long time. We're 150 hours, something like that in. I'm at a boss called the Four Kings, which is a lie because there's like 100 of them. So the plan for tonight is to do a little bit of aimless wandering to hopefully go up a level or maybe find some resources, and then to make attempts at the Four Kings. And it'd be nice if I could win. But I don't know if I could expect victories in both games. But if you want to join me for that, that name gives me an idea for a joke, but I'm not sure if I could say it. I think I can imagine what your joke might be, Master Tuesday. Uh-oh. I just noticed I didn't put my game to sleep the last time we played. I wonder if I just... I don't know what's happening now. I wonder if I just artificially boosted my playtime by, a week's worth of hours. That's even better. You get the joke and I don't actually have to say it. Believe it or not, I have heard adult language from time to time. All right, so we're gonna switch. I gotta switch capture devices from the composite card to the HDMI card. This is usually a little clunky, and sometimes there can be an unexpected loud noise or two. I'm gonna try to avoid it, but here's your heads up. All right, I think that might have done it. Beautiful. That's what we like to see. And we're playing in offline mode. This is like the day one no internet experience. I haven't done any research. I've refused all help. I don't even want I don't want the in-game messages. I don't even read the developer messages. I'm stubbornly banging my head against the wall until the game topples around me. Sir Rackablam says, I am off to bed. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for stopping in, Sir Rackablam. And again, thank you for, thank you for sharing your collecting finds with us. Even when I don't have much to comment about them, I do appreciate you sharing what you pick up. It's as a fellow collector, I'm interested in what other people are getting up to. I'm nosy. So thank you for that. I hope you sleep well, my friend, and have a great tomorrow. Tuesday says the Pokemon battle. Okay, it was one of those where all of your team is randomly generated. The guy starts with a ghost type, manages to buff its attack as high as it goes, and then after getting one of my Pokemon in one hit, promptly declares GG, it's over? As in, your opponent abandoned the match? I don't know that I follow entirely. All right, my friends. I'm gonna step away for just a brief moment. I need to take a quick BRB before we settle into this punishment. Um, so thank you for sticking with me through Battletoads. And if you want to continue, if you want to continue this marathon of pain, just hang by. Well, let me finish Tuesday's story here real quick. As in, he got overconfident and decided to rub his seemingly inevitable victory in your face. The satisfying part was when I pulled out my second Pokemon and wiped out his entire team with it. All right, that's more like it. Well done, Tuesday. There's nothing quite like a good turnaround. All right, like I said, my friends, I'll be right back with you after just a song or so.